Rabbi Vadia, I'm a bit disappointed because when you started by saying you won the Mega $1 Million lottery, I thought I'm going to solicit you. I thought that's why Kodesh Baruch Hu brought me here this morning. So Baruch Hashem. But I want to tell you that I cherish our friendship. I cherish our kesher. And what should I say? You're a wonderful person, and your wife is a wonderful person, and it's a pleasure to know people like you. And it's a pleasure to meet you here, because life is a mission, and we're all here to serve. We're all here to serve. Rabbi Tzilem of Volozhin was the son of the great Reb Chaim of Volozhin, who was the greatest disciple of the Vilna Gaon. And Rabbi Tzilem published the Nefesh HaChaim after the demise, after the ptir of his great father. And he writes in the Haggadah that my father used to give me musar: you think too much about yourself and too little about others. So before saying one additional word, I think this is a testament to the greatness of Rabbi Tzilem. Because let me make this very clear, if anybody would say that to me, I wouldn't print it in the Haggadah in my sefer. Never. And I assume that Rabbi Tzilem, just like any other Gadol B'Yisrael, cared for others. Of course he did. But not enough to fulfill his great father's expectations. And he quotes Reb Chaim of Volozhin as saying, no one is here in this world for his own sake, neither in Gashmias nor in Ruchnias. We are all here for each other. Klal Yisrael is like a family, and we're all here for each other. So in the past 9 months, we've been through such an ordeal. And the past 9 months, this is maybe the most difficult time we have experienced, since the nation was reborn 80 years ago. And there's so much pain and so much suffering, and we need to feel it. And we're here for each other, and everybody needs to feel this responsibility. And I've been seeing thousands of people from Chutz La'aretz that come here to visit. Many people have been here 4 or 5 times, and they come back again and again. And whenever these people come to see me, I ask them, are you aware that you are insane? And they all look at me somewhat puzzled, sometimes somewhat offended. Why does the Rav think we are insane? And I say, because sane people stay away from a war zone. There's been a terrible war raging in the Ukraine for more than 2 years, and we're not aware that hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians from the entire world are coming to visit Kharkov and Mariupol and Lviv, and everybody stays away. Ukrainians try to run out of the country. So we are magnificently insane. We are beautifully insane, because Klal Yisrael is not only a people, we are a family. And when your brother is hurting, you want to sit next to him. You don't just give a call. When your brother is hurting, you want to see him. You want to feel him. And you can't do that from afar. So we are a family. And as a family, we're here for each other. And that is what our Somayach is all about. That is what this program is all about. It is about caring and realizing and appreciating our responsibility for each other. Our responsibility towards each and every one of our brethren, each and every other Jew, because we are a family. And family cares one for another. I have a word that my children know. It's one of my vortim that everybody knows. The Gemara says, "Hai alma kebehilula damya." Our life is like a wedding. And I say, in what aspect? I say, life is like a Hasidic chasana. I look around the room, I don't see many Hasidim here. If it would be Shabbos, it would be easy to tell who has a shtreimel and who doesn't. So life is like a Hasidic wedding. It starts 4:30 in the afternoon, an hour before the chuppah. Sit down and sing. Who's going to be there for you 4:30 in the afternoon? Who's going to leave his job, his kollel, his family, his activities? Your kids, some of your siblings. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, if you're affluent, if you're rich, if you're famous, there are going to be hundreds of people. But at the end of the mitzvah dance, 4 o'clock in the morning, who's going to be there? Who's going to be there for you? Your kids, some of your siblings. That's life. Never neglect your family. Always be aware. 4:30 in the morning, nobody's going to be there besides your kids. So as a person that is somewhat famous, and there are a lot of people that I know, but to me this is very important, your family. And we are all family. We are all one extended big family, and we care for each other. So life is a mission, and we're all here, not for our own sake. Not even a ruchnius. It's not only about your personal growth. You cannot grow alone. You shall not grow alone. If you grow, others should grow together with you. And that is what this is all about. So this Mentors program is a unique idea. And it is very important because many young Bali Tshuva get the feeling that there is us, and then there are Rabbeim, Gedolim, teachers of Torah, but for them to meet the business person, just a good Jew that knows something about this world, not only Roishim Magia Hashamaymo, but also Sulam Mutzav Arzo. And to some of these boys that have the dilemma, do I need to choose this world or the one to come? And sometimes they have a feeling that doing tshuva and becoming a ben Torah is losing out so much. It is an important message and an inspiration to meet Balabatim, successful Balabatim. Being a good Jew and coming closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're not losing out anything. You are only gaining. You are only gaining. And the realization that the world isn't divided between the great tzaddikim and those that struggle, but there's so much in the middle. And you could be a frum, good, dedicated, devoted Jew, loving HaKadosh Baruch Hu and adherent to all his mitzvahs, and be successful in life. And this is an extremely important message. And I think sometimes mentors could have a greater effect even than Rabbeim. There are no mechitzas, no dividing walls. So I think this is an amazing idea and a very important one, and also a very effective one. So first of all, I bench you all for coming here. And when I walked into this room, I saw so many Hamisha faces. I thought I'm going to meet strangers. But we never meet strangers because a Jew is never a stranger. So, Baruch Hashem, we are here together. So in Ksubas Daf Kuv Gimel, and once again above Metzia Pei Hey, there's an interesting story. The two greatest disciples, two greatest Talmidim of Rabbeinu HaKadosh, were Rav Chia and Rav Chanina Bar Choma. And once these two giants sat together, and an interesting discussion developed. They were talking and learning. And they had two different opinions. I don't know which sugya it was because the Gemara doesn't share that with us. And if Chanina says, Bahade didi kuminsat, you dare to argue with me? אילו תשתכח תורה מישראל מהדרן אלי בפלפולי. If chas v'sholem the Torah would be forgotten, I would restore it in my pilpul. That means my genius is so great, if Torah would be forgotten, I would bring it back. And Rav Chia responds, Va'anu avidna delo tishtakech Torah miYisrael. And I was the one that bears responsibility that Torah was not forgotten. And that is an interesting comment. But my question is, if I would be Rav Chia, and Rav Chanina would challenge me with that argument, Ilu tishtakech Torah miYisrael ma'adan elei bepulpuli, I would say, my dear friend, you forgot a Gemara Meforeshes in Sukkah Daf Chof. What do we have there? Kishenishtakhu Torah miYisrael olo Rav Chia v'bonov v'hichziruha. So I would say, Rav Chanina, really, you're such a great guy. You're talking theory. If Torah would be forgotten, I could restore it. So for your information, Torah was forgotten. And the one that restored it was not you, it was me. And that's what the Gemara says in Sukkah Daf Chof. Kishenishtakhu Torah miYisrael ono Rav Chia v'bonav v'yichziruha. So obviously, what Rav Chia says is far greater. Yes, I'm not going to argue with you who brought Torah back. What is more important? Anu avidna delo tishtakech Torah miYisrael. What did he do, Rav Chia? So this is a famous story. Well, he planted flax, and when the flax grew, cut it off, made nets. He used those nets to capture deer, and he shechted the deer, and he gave Yisomim food, he supplied their needs, and then from the hide of the deer, he wrote Sifrei Torah, and he taught Torah. But there's one line in the Gemara which people don't realize. Rav Chia went to places where there was no one else to teach Torah. So I think Rav Chia tells Rav Chanina, you're a great Rosh Hashiva. But there are many great Rosh Hashivas. And whenever a great Rosh Hashiva passes away, we're all human, and no one is here forever. There is always someone else to step in. Greater, smaller, but Baruch Hashem, lo alman Yisrael. So Rav Chia tells Rav Chanina, you're a great teacher of Torah, no doubt about that. But I was there where there was no one else, and that makes the difference. I went la'atre delesbe makre dardeke. And I was the one that saw to it sheloi tishtakech Torah miYisrael. So Or Somayach was the forerunner, you know, and when Or Somayach came up on the scene, there was no real tshuva movement. That was atre delesbe makre dardeke. And there were yeshivas. There always were yeshivas. The Gemara says in Yom Daf Chof Ches, Avram zokan v'yoshev b'yeshiva, Yitzchak zokan v'yoshev b'yeshiva, Yankov zokan, miyameim shalav v'yiseinu lo posku yeshiva mehem. Yordeh leMitzrayim yeshiva emohem. Yordeh leBavel yeshiva. There were always yeshivas. But there were thousands upon thousands and hundreds of thousands of Jews that were totally alienated. No one looked at them. No one cared for them. That was atre delesbe makre dardeke, and Rav Chia says, I was there. So Rav Chanina was a great teacher of Torah. He was a sage. He was the Gadol Hador. And Rav Chia was the same. So Rav Chia doesn't respond, I brought Torah back. He says something even more important. I was out there where no one else was. And that's our challenge. So Baruch Hashem, we have magnificent yeshivas in our generation, everywhere, primarily in Eretz Yisrael, in America. But there are still so many so many young Jews that are totally alienated, and their neshamas are crying out. Does anybody care? Is anyone out there to care about us and bring us home? So this is a big schus. So it's a kavod for me and a privilege to be able to be here, and in a way to be associated with our Somayach. So my bracha to all of you. Your mission is a magnificent one. It's an important one. And my brachas to you. There's a Sefer Minchas Avraham. He was a Talmud of the Chasam Sofer. And in the introduction to his Sefer, he shares an interesting story. And he writes, my great Rebbe, the Chasam Sofer, once complained to me, I am so busy with the Kehel and the yeshiva, I don't have time to look after my children. My son Shimon, I don't even know what he's learning, the Chasam Sofer said. Reb Shimon Sofer ultimately was one of the great Gedolim. He was the Rav in Krakow. And I wanted to be Machazik my Rebbe. So I shared with him a word. Kol hayoim choinenu malvei v'zaroi levrocha. So I thought, maybe Pshat in the Posuk is Kol hayoim choinen umalva. The Posuk is referring to those people that give away their days to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They give away their days and nights in the service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's children. V'zaroi levrocha. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells them, you care for my kids, I will care for your kids. So those people that give away their days, kol hayoim choinenu malva, they have a brocha min hashamayim v'zaroi levrocha. My Rebbe liked the word, and by Shalashudis, he shared it with the entire yeshiva in my name. That is what the Minchas Avraham writes. So my brocha to all of you, dedicating your time, your energies, your resources for HaKadosh Baruch Hu's kindalach. The brocha should be mekuyim by you, v'zarei lebrocha. You should have nachas from your children and from your families. So my dear friend, Rabbi Krantz just mentioned the time we spent together in Prague. Really was a few great days. That was 2 years ago? 2 summers ago. And at the time I was in a wheelchair. I had some knee problems. And Baruch Hashem, Kodesh Baruch Hu just took him away. And I'm back to normal. Sometimes I feel that I have knees. A normal, healthy person is not supposed to be aware that he has knees. And sometimes I'm still aware that I have knees, but Baruch Hashem, Kodesh Baruch Hu knows that I need to be a Marbetz Torah, and it's inconvenient moving around in a wheelchair and with crutches. And when you come to a Shia in a wheelchair, people are somewhat distressed to see you in a wheelchair. So Kodesh Baruch Hu took it away, and we're back to normal, Baruch Hashem. So when we visit places like Prague, and we talk about Jewish history, what we've been through, it's an important and amazing lesson. A few months ago, I was with a big group of Talmidim in Poland, Kivrei Tzadikim, and also we were in Auschwitz, in Majdanek. What do we try to convey? We try to convey the story of Jewish eternity. We are the nation of forever and ever. We suffer more than all the others. That's our destiny. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu made no secret of it. It's in the Torah. But it is encouraging, and we have so much chizuk out of the fact that all we've been through, we're around, we're thriving, and we're doing quite well. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised, Ki lo yishochach mepi zaroi. So whatever trials and tribulations we've been through, we are the people of miracles. We are the people that is here forever and will be here forever. Ad bias goyal tzedek. So once again, as I mentioned before, this is a difficult time, and we need to feel the pain. And in our communities, I think we don't feel enough. Go to the army, don't go to the army, sit in yeshiva, everything is great. But you need to feel what people are going through. And you need to hear the cries of thousands of families that lost loved ones, and the cries of hundreds of thousands of families that can't sleep by night because their kids are in the army. And therefore I say, if nothing changed in your life from before Simchas Torah to after Simchas Torah, something is wrong with you. Either you don't believe or you don't care. One of the two. Either you don't believe that your Torah and your Tefillah could make a difference. And if you don't believe that Torah and Tefillah and Chesed make a difference, something is wrong. If you do believe and you're doing nothing, then you don't care. And if you don't care, something is wrong. So this war is our war and not only their war. And we need to feel it. And everybody in his own way and on his own level needs to do more. Learn more and learn better, daven more, daven better. And do good. So once again, a bracha to all of you for being here, for being who you are, and for caring about others, caring about Klal Yisrael, and caring about Kodesh Baruch Hu's Kindalach. So it's a pleasure to be here with you, and my brachas to all of you. So let us hope we will meet Bekorov, and this war will be over. And in times of pain and suffering, and when we are tested, we not only daven that we should know better times, we daven for the Geula Shalom. We daven for the ultimate simcha of Klal Yisrael. We've been through enough, and we daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Please put an end to all of this, and Bekorov we should see Pnei Moshiach Tzedkeinu, V'Yeshuas Eilamim B'Meiru V'Yameinu Amen. So we have